Today we have Mr. Shrikant Deshmukh. Mr. Shrikant, can you please introduce yourself and about your company?
You know what, like I would, there is no kind of an introduction, just probably I will say, okay, I have a certain background of engineering from last 8 years. Introduction in a way basically, okay, I will always say that I keep IC engines and I pursue the IC engines. And that's what it is. I got a chance like work from engineering college. Fascinating thing is that like even a small things, small people taught me how to look at overcome any problems or any issues. And that has generated a lot of interest. Basically, the business which there is a lot of. It's not just a story for the typical business which I started. There are different stories and then sub stories of it. I'm a B mechanical, as you know, like for a qualification wise, if you say to me. But I will say like I was not the kind of like a technical person or maybe but I'm generated and people developed by various people. It's not like something that I thought like I should go into this way. But the circumstances and things also came in the pictures. People around me also who are also from here. They supported me. Some people actually even neglected me. That also helped me to go in certain direction. I always a soft spoken person. That also helped me many times, like to absolve a lot of criticism.
So, what is your organization?
Okay. The organization, as I said to you, the company's name is a DVA Engineering and Testing Company. I started this company somewhere in April 2010, and probably 2008 up to 2000 I was in the States, from 2004 to 2008. That time itself I started, not like I should have something in my mind, start from there. Rather I will say, the atmosphere in US was so conducive over there. I was thinking to even start over there along with my own Canadian friends over there. Somehow because of the certain family related things, and even I also want to come over here. And the company which I was working, they also started the facility over there. That opportunity I took and came back over here. But the idea was very clear because my experience wise, and when I came over here, lot of people of my generations, or my the fraternity of technical people you working in engines like IC engine development or testing. It's so small. The world is so small. And maybe I will say, if I count on the world, probably 10,000 people or 15,000 people are there in the world. So you get to know each other every day. So that I find it's a good strength to start something. At least I can go and talk with them. One thing is about the market. I'm not a type of marketing person. Being a technical person, knowing these people and knowing the business and what is required into this business, I thought like probably a good business case to work out. So DBA engineering.
So, DVA, what is the full form? Or why this name is DVA?
The name of DVA is yes, it has a meaning. Each word has experience.
Okay.
It's a design, validate, and analyze. When I actually dreamed it, I said, where from I should start? A lot of people say, okay, go for a design, just buy the computers. I was having certain experience of working on some CAD models and things like that. They say that it require less investment and sacrifice. And when it comes to validation and analysis, I always have a belief, and I will say it's a proven thing. Even though whatever you do it in basically in a mechanical design, or even any automobile or vehicle design, you need to have a validate your products. You need to have analyze your products. When you validate, you have to analyze for certain things. Then only it can work. So the first stage is not the design. People always say it's a design. Everything goes on design. Then validate and then analyze. But I think design come by that validation and analysis, and that history goes back by experience to somebody who actually put on the drawings and things like that. So first thing is the validation analysis. Why I started, I should go into this area and then slowly also work into the design. That I will say it's a little simple work.
So, can you just tell me about your past and how, from where you belong to, and how you evolved this idea of having your own organization? What are the motivation behind this idea?
As I said to you, there was not a set goal when I started as an engineer. As I said to you, my past experience before starting this company was something around 16, 17 years. I worked in a very small workshops. I worked in as a maintenance, then as a test engineer, and then as a design engineer. Also working various, I would say, field of testing. I not only worked in basically the small engine design, also worked in the big engines, bigger engines, like over 10,000 horsepower, 15,000 horsepower. So perspective was very wide in that case. Then I got a chance going to the States. It was my, I will say, always luck always required. Probably in 2004 when I was working with Tata Companies. Some of my friends were in the States, and I got a chance through them going over there. So when I gone over there, it's not like States or something. In States is like a bunch of people coming from everywhere. Not all people are very intelligent. But when they come over there, they give it their finest of finest. That's what comes from inside, and that's the opportunity get developed. And that's what the internal, your institution comes out. That atmosphere is like. Working with FEV, working with GE, got lot of focused directions, and also got a lot of appreciation, which I never got it over here, even though I've done lot of things. I'm not blaming that way, because this is what our society is, or maybe the atmosphere is, or maybe the management structure is in a local industry. So I will say an average person, goes over there, and when I look at me, when I was a very average person, even not doing very well, or a topper in the industry also doing well. If I go over there, just being over there, if everybody says I'm doing very well, I'm doing the best job, it means basically, it doesn't mean I'm doing the best job, but there are some circumstances. They are taking my best from out of me. So this is something got fascinated me. I said that's what I always say. Talent and whatever, main talent, or maybe they're doing something best. It doesn't come from any area, or from any country, or from any language or something. It just basically your circumstances and the atmosphere you got.
So we were discussing that your this decision of taking having your own business was related with your college time also. So Can you just throw some light on this?
No, no. I always said discipline. I never thought discipline.
Okay.
Way back 89 when I joined the engineering college, I never thought, even my family also, and even I myself also not thought to going into the engineering. It was just by say like as I said to you, there was a private college, institute got open 2-3 years back. I was having very reasonably good score in DCMC. So they took me over there because it was by government law. By government law, they have to take certain local things. So that way I got it. But as I always circumstances. So my college was like in a college in a college. There was no libraries. Nothing was there. AICT, as I said, AICT that time told to my college, if you don't do these things, your college permissions will be cancelled. Staff was very small. There was no good support. It was a college started by a politician, big politician. There was a money available. Students also coming from various states and things like that. And my professor put little faith on me. I think he felt me like I am probably a good follower of him. He said like you take a work on this, you learn consulting. Work with him and develop laboratory for fluid dynamics and isolation. Reading into the books and then mugging up that calculations, theories and things like that. And at the same time, really working on it. When the first engine come in front of us, and I connected it to the dynamometer. When I really see like, okay, this is the torque and this is speed it is coming. This is like heat release it is happening. How can I find the friction losses? How can I find the heat releases from different components like radiators and things like that. That really generated the interest in that subject. I never thought like I will do something. Even I will say like after passing my engineering college, I also thought like I should work in all automobile companies. I never got a chance. Because my college was not that time very famous or like nobody was coming. But that circumstances also given me chances to learn engineering as per se, go into depth. Like because how would I say, like even now also it's also true, at least in Indian engineering colleges or wherever. A few colleges are there. Maybe I don't want to conflict with that. Where there is a very really practical plus theory things are very close. But I was very raw type of person. I could able to with that that neglection, like they are not getting a job. I could able to work in small companies. Same for that, like before my final year exam comes, result came out. I worked 2.5 months in a workshop. There I learned like all machines, how to wear, all manual type of machines and NC machines. There are not CNC machines, NC machines. And there I learned from the entrepreneur. If you want to control the people over there, you should know the 200% of that knowledge. That is, I will say, the first management lesson. Maybe perspective. There are a lot of people like without knowing they can control. There's different. But even that time also I was. When I joined to Mahindra & Mahindra, I worked in a tractor company. I worked as a test engineer. I worked over there as a component testing. I worked over there as a design engineer. And when I see actually towards me, if I would have been directly been put over there as a design engineer, I definitely say I would have not been a very good design. Because I worked in component testing, engine testing, vehicle testing, vehicle integration, assemblies and things like that. That you get to know all that, handling with your hands, how that works. And then actually you really make a sense. Like when you do a drawing and put a tolerances, you need to know like what is that, if you relax that tolerance or you make a tight of that tolerance. If you have a background of machining, if you have a background of testing, you do a very tight tolerances, what that person who is going to manufacture, you need to understand what type of machine that guy is.
He has time.
And you can make very relaxed what is going to happen in your testing. All that. So, this is like, I will say, it's good part. Like, we like to become a partial engineer at least 5 years, 5 to 6 years of my experience. By that time also, I will say I never thought like this. It was like after maybe being working in Mumbai, the perspective of meeting lot of people from south, from north. That time, I will say like there was a groups. We used to say like I used to say, ये भैया लोग हैं, ये अन्ना है, ये हमारा है. That type of thing was there. I want to tell very that. But perspective of like that, being in Pune, where I'm from Maharashtra or Marathwada, I'm from Vidarbha. That has been vanished when I come to Mumbai. Now it's in the bigger. After working over there for 8 years, I've gone to Jamshedpur. That really changed. I will say the experience was fantastic. In Mahindra, I learned lot of things: vehicle integration, testing, transmission design, gearbox design, everything. I will say I really thank Mahindra is a very good learning organization. That time Anand Mahindra was too. He used to tackle all this. But in a mental blockage, baggage of that, I was getting. When I gone over there, then it was a different. Jamshedpur, like, because there were no local people working. Various states people are working because the Tata Steel and Tata Motors. It's a blend of different culture. Living in that vicinity, you have to see each other every day. You don't have anything like to do. If you don't talk with them, you are gone. And I know that basically. When I told my wife, she told me find a Marathi family near to our home, so that I can survive. But after living over there 2.5 years, I know after 6 months, I think 3-4 months, there's such a change in life, not only in me, in my family, my son. He used to learn to talk Bengali, he learned to talk Hindi, certain Odia. That was really fascinating. My wife, who I always used to criticize her, being very conservative and all that. And she started mingling around all these people, going for these pujas and things like that and all that. And really, that has shaped, I will say, this is the stage where you now got open to accepting a lot of things. Your mind blockages. And that's why, like, when you become that type of people, and you are already a workaholic person, you are already doing your best, what you will do. I never said like now that time, here, we are not. All are my friends. And I still, because of that 2.5 years, the friends which I have, in Pune, every year, in 26th January, we have that Tata Commons meet. People, there are lots of people, I think 50-60% people are here in Pune because industry is here. But there are also people who gone to Bangalore and they make a point with their family to come over. So look at all that thing, like how that bond is there. It's different. And I will say like that is my, my primary step to go in this direction of like thinking of this. Okay, I can work with all things. I can take any challenges. And it's not like very problematic like to communicate with anybody, anywhere free and all. I used to start talking with like Tata Cummins or actually Cummins. Very good, I will say, structured organization, technical structure. And then a lot of interaction with the Cummins US, a lot of attending the meetings. This has also changed. Like I can also talk with and at par with the who are maybe experts, and I get the knowledge, and also I can share my knowledge and also do the things.
So what the challenges you faced while starting your business, and what about the present challenges which the industry is facing, and how you are tackling those challenges?
Okay, just a little bit. Probably somewhere in 2006, my boss, Paul Fine.
Bit loud.
GE's boss, Paul Klein, Dr. Paul Klein. He was asking me because that time in Bangalore, GE opened a technology center. And he was there and he was saying, you know what, like we just started over there, a technology center. There is nothing production we are doing. But we recruited something around that time 10,000 people. And what he said, the government and they are very, very happy. And we are not doing anything, we are not giving anything per se. Rather, these people are working from their 3 shift works. And there is nothing productive, but only the job people want. And he was also gone in and around. He said, like, there is no technology products are coming up, and people are very, very happy to work for only the multinationals, and they will brand themselves or align themselves with this multinational. It was very kind of a generalistic talk. I thought, like, why he is saying that? Why he is saying that? And I really felt it. Like, I always thought that way. Working with Cummins, oh my God, I really got it. Working with Mahindra, because I was even my parents used to say to me, like, want to States. That's a kind of like a pride to you. And that time I really felt this is something like a normal general Americans or maybe a foreigner people's view looking at us. What they say, like, okay, you can only, the Indians only can work. They are very good engineers. That's what they say. They are very good engineers. But they are quite followers. They are just followers. And if you say to them to be there for up to 12 o'clock because we are coming at 8 o'clock and attend the meeting, they are happy to do that. And sometimes they say, no, what they are, I know, like, they are also, there from also I attended a meeting which was at maybe 8 o'clock, and here we have something 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Sometimes it was at 11 o'clock there, The night time it was about 9:30, 10:30. Everybody was like very young, just married or something like that. By compromising on their family like they were. That always triggered me. And then I said, I was also behind like to get a green card. Anybody who was over there. And really, my boss said, "You will do that, no issue." That man was very happy. But that point when Paul was saying to me, I should do that. And the same thing I told to one of my friend over there. He said, "What do you think? Like, do you have any idea? Something we can start, and I will support you." Because I am now here from last 10 years, I have a little money. So I said, being over there for 3 years, I understood lot of outsourcing of this all durabilities, functional tests, string gauging, a lot of things used to happen. Detroit or that area, I also visited 2 or 3 test facilities, and they were very small, run by certain engineers, not very well. I will say my facility is 100% better than them, where I was. So people used to give them. But that's how the industry also looks towards them. Like they have started something like give them support, very supportive type of. Then I said like why don't we can? That time I thought like I should bring certain equipments, because I worked in dynamometer company, certain equipments from India, so you can import with small investment. One thing good is about US is that it's very one window type of interaction. I gone to bank. Bank asked me, "Do you have a report, project report?" I said I was having a 10 PPT presentation. That's my. But lady was so kind. She has given me 1.5 hours. She started talking with me, and then she written on it. And she said to me, "Come after 3 days." And she has written my first project report of 15 pages for me, free. A bank lady who was not having any technical background. Melissa, her name is Melissa, last name I forgot. And when I seen her, and he said, "Now you add some of your things," and that's how it got me. Actually, I made that finally that report of something around 80-90 pages. But really thankful to her, who just by talking with me for maybe like one hour which we are talking, she written a 15 page. She took my presentations. Bank of America. Came back and I showed to my friend and things like that. Also, even project report to my brother-in-law, who was running the software company 4 years in Pune. He was in Singapore, but his development center is in Pune. And he has gone over there through that. And finally, what we found, it is quite in the first phase. If it is in India, so it's a capital intensive. So 1 year I never thought of it. I just continued to work there. I used to work, click log, that report, look into that. But always, unfortunately, myself and my family came across a small accident. My wife, Nick, what we call that, they got twisted and she could not able to stand and gone various but in US is only the problem is that if nothing is there, you are well. If something happens, you are not being supported. It's very problem. You are all alone. Because I used to stay in a very remote area, like Erie, Pennsylvania. Very few Indian families. And there was no support system. So my wife came back and she took something around 8 months. Kids started going in the school. So I also thought it's good like to come back. It's good. I also got a chance like to say we started the technical center over here. So I also opted for that. After I think I stayed over there for 1.5 years after my family came. Total I was there like for 5 years. Came over. So worked over there for maybe a 1 year. But I was thought like I have to start something. I was having that report. I was showing to everybody. Fortunately, guy who is in Kirloskar right now, I don't know whether it's appropriate to take it. He was head. He said to me, we can support you for a few years. What is like your investment? I started with like first project investment was like 2 crore rupees. But finally when it comes, it was going to 5.5, 6 crore. I said okay, we'll go in phase manner, few test beds, land and things like that, and then this engine testing was not a new area for me. I already searched because I worked. This good thing. One good thing which has happened like working right now after coming over here in the field, I could able to connect all my old connections. A lot of friends has become VPs or general manager, DCMs in various companies. I could able to connect with. And because I was like in a forefront, I used to talk with all the customers, like you or maybe Nagesh or. That's how I thought like this. Now there is a marketing link. One thing is very important in this type of technical business. You have to be 150% sure you are technically competent. Although it's very, if you look at my business right now, it's the lowest part of kind of R&D which is getting outsourced. But even with that, you need to be very, very, very sure that the delivery and quality which you are going to do it, there is at par with all this, like all your competitors. Like, who are the competitors then? AVL, FEV, TRE. That 1 year has really given me a time to think what FEV is, what AVL is, what ERI is, and what is the business available. Modila. You can ask me a question.
No. We were just asking how it was started. Then
Starting, I said like it was. As a bigger point, as I always told, that it was like
okay. So we'll go to the next question. So any management lesson what you want to share to the future leaders?
I used to say like there are two types because we here in India there are two types of business operation. One is the service industry, one is the manufacturing industry. When you are saying that you are in a service industry, you want to say that you are very good into this, you are expert into that. When it comes to expertise, like it's just not by yourself. The people who are going to come with you and the facility you are going to develop. It has to be at certain quality. That is for sure. So when you ask me the management comes after understanding this. and implementing the management. Management has a different aspects. Management has a different aspects. At least in this type of business, like when it comes to service industry, one is like developing your team. It may not be like type of a kind of a subject which normally which has been not been taught, which I feel it, I don't know, been taught in typical management course. But developing a if they tell you how to get developed or how to become a leader. Well, I don't know whether maybe it is. There will not be any specific subjects or me I can never came across. There are people who has written books on that. Take the people along with you and make the leaders out of it, and then you just be back up. That's what I feel. I always say to me, I was never a leader, but I was a very good team player. But I being like very on the forefront, I took a lot of I will say interest into that. And that's how naturally I got certain leadership. So this is what I will say. Like when I said to when you ask me the management lesson. Management lesson is that like it is not that. It is just a comprehensive. Like when you think like okay, you have to take start something. Who are maybe the people? If you think like they are good for you, making them to that certain. You cannot say like I cannot hire IITians, I cannot hire IMBAs, and that's why I am not doing. Because you have a circumstances you cannot afford as a startup company. You cannot say that time like okay, I cannot afford, so I will just only pay. But then only you have to see, okay, I have this, I can only afford. These are the set of people who can come with this type of circumstances or salaries which I can offer. Increase your business. And whatever you have, that leadership, technical things, you have to part it to them. And then go to the next level. When you can come certain level, then probably you can become little professional, hire good people. But as a startup company, a small company, you have to like work under that circumstances. It is not like something like okay, I invested, now I can take people just passed from MBAs and why? Because your brand is also important. Yeah, if I go to certain college. If I ask like join me, they will not come. If I go to COAP or if I go to IIT, even if I say to them, like, I can give this. There are people, yes. There are, I think there is a trend coming up. People want to work in a small organization. But again, you have to be there like if you say like okay, if you can afford to them, but you should see like what is the appetite you are going. That is one thing.
Next question is, what is your perspective about life?
Perspective?
Life. How you see the life?
थोड़ा सा उसमें maybe little specific, like because life
I mean, what are your beliefs? Like somebody believes in education, somebody believes in giving back to the society. What is your belief?
Belief is very important. Like the first thing is that like whatever task you have taken. One thing is like you have to be very careful. Being a startup company, having type of background you can. One thing is like you have not been like at certain level when you started. It was like a slope, and you are at certain flat portion or top of that certain and your family is in that level. And you have to be very careful. Like you will not like go down. That is one thing. Now, having said that, and when you started all these things, because you need to have a lot of family support. your friends who encourage you should not be let them down by doing something which is like over extra, I will say extra ambitious or something. You have to be ambitious in your mind, but there has to be goal and a certain task for that, or a time period for that. While doing, you should also think like, okay, when you started a company, you are giving a jobs to 10 people is just not that like you are doing something. It is basically like how you are going to make them more eligible in that. That is on the professional side, I guess. But when it comes to like making profits and having a surplus with you, then really education, I will say, giving back by education. There are ways. I will, like normally I share my ways. People use money to buy the equipments. I started giving one day to the nearby school, which is near to my company, in a week. We have 4 hours. That really makes you can always give the money. That's not a big deal. But somebody like you who can give a different perspective to the students or the kids,
You can
like third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh standard, who just sitting in the same small room, and you have to address to them. That is really a fascinating. And I will say, just telling them your background, saying that if I can do, why can't I do? And I always seen people over there, they are much talented, gifted students, because they don't have the, even they don't require the equipments and books and things like that. What they need is a limited good resource and a direction where somebody can show in a positive. I mean, it's like if I could able to at least develop at least in my like 10 students, and I can see them like growing, I would say this is like something which I want to do it.
And this would be the last question. What success means to you?
Success has a lot of definition. How you chooses, because if I really ask to me, if I ask internally to me, am I successful in my life? Am I successful in my business? Am I really got enough money which I can spend on myself, on others whenever I want it? I think that's not the, so probably I thought it in that way. But I will say, success, which I will say when I define, I thought something which came in my mind, which was came because I was carrying that baggage of experience with me. I was fascinated to do all that thing, and I could able to implement that. And somehow successfully, as in myself, I think there is a lot of other people who can scrutinize that. It's not really, but what I will say, or maybe I can see myself like it's moving into the right direction. I always give experience, like without calling, if my competitors want to visit my facility, see, and then customers are telling me, oh, they are doing this very well way than you are doing. So that's what basically a certain step moving towards the success. And in that, I think I have to achieve a lot of things. And there are various steps of this success. And I want to see even failures not be successful. failures are going to like avoid, make me like more mature person, which already actually give last certain failures also and taught me a lot of things. So taking failures also in a different perspective. I think that's.
Thank you very much, Shrikant ji. Thank you very much.
I hope like I could able to what you want.